Picture this: a quiet college town, late at night. A 65-year-old physics professor, Dr. Lena Santos, is driving home in her high-end electric car. Suddenly, flashing lights fill her rearview mirror. She pulls over, confused. The reason: her turn signal was left on a bit too long. A minor mistake, something we've all done. But this simple traffic stop is about to spiral into a nightmare. An aggressive Officer Mark Reardon approaches her car, his voice already laced with hostility. "Roll the window down all the way, hands on the wheel," he barks. Dr. Santos, though startled, tries to remain calm. She starts to ask why she was stopped, her voice steady. But Officer Reardon isn't interested in a conversation. He sees her question as defiance. In a shocking move, he thrusts his arm through her partially open window to unlock the door himself. Instinct takes over. Dr. Santos, feeling her personal space violated, presses the button to close the window. She only meant to close it slightly, to re-establish a boundary. Her car, a marvel of modern engineering, has a safety feature. The window senses the slightest pressure the officer's arm and immediately stops. It doesn't trap him, it doesn't crush him. It just stops. But Officer Reardon sees an opportunity. He yanks his arm back, shouting in what sounds like agony. He stumbles away from the car, pointing dramatically at his body camera, which is now conveniently recording. He puts on a show, wincing and shaking his hand as if it's been mangled. What happens next is even more shocking. He rips open her door, drags the 65-year-old professor out, and slams her against her own car. In his official report, Officer Reardon paints a picture of a violent, unhinged academic. He claims Dr. Santos viciously slammed the electric window on his arm, causing immediate trauma. He adds that she then struck him repeatedly while screaming obscenities. Based on this fabricated story, Dr. Lena Santos, a respected professor with a spotless record, is charged with felony assault on a police officer and resisting arrest with violence. His body camera footage, starting only after the so-called incident, seems to back up his story of pain and distress. It looks like an open and shut case, a decorated officer's word against a senior citizen's. But Reardon made one critical mistake. He didn't just assault a professor, he assaulted the owner of one of the smartest cars on the planet. And this car was a silent witness. Dr. Santos's lawyer knew the charges were absurd. The key to her defense wasn't going to be found in eyewitness testimony, but inside the car's computer. You see, modern high-end EVs aren't just vehicles, they're rolling data centers, constantly recording information about their environment. The defense team subpoenaed the car's raw, time-stamped data logs. And what they found was astonishing. It was the digital equivalent of a black box, and it was about to expose a terrible lie. First, they looked at the cabin pressure and acoustic data. A violent struggle inside a small, enclosed space with screaming punches being thrown, and frantic movement would cause wild, chaotic spikes in the air pressure and sound levels. The car's sensors, used for climate control and hands-free calling, would have recorded it all. But when they examined the data logs for the exact time of the alleged assault, what did they find? Nothing. The acoustic sensors only picked up one voice, Dr. Santos's, speaking calmly. The pressure sensors showed only minor, controlled changes, consistent with her speaking and the window moving slightly. There was no screaming, no struggle, no chaos. The car's own atmosphere testified to her innocence. But that was just the beginning. The defense then pulled data from a source no one had even considered: the car's front bumper. Dr. Santos's EV was equipped with a wide-angle thermal imaging camera, designed to detect pedestrians and animals at night. While it was pointed forward, its field of view was wide enough to capture a low-resolution but crystal-clear thermal image of Officer Reardon's torso and hands as he stood by her window. The thermal recording told the real story. It showed Officer Reardon pull his arm from the window and immediately flex his hand. There was no thermal signature of injury, no rush of blood, no swelling, no indication of pain whatsoever. He was perfectly fine. But then, a few seconds later, after he had activated his body camera, the thermal footage showed something incredible. He quickly moved his hand out of view, then brought it back, shaking and wincing dramatically. It was a performance, a deliberate act of deception staged for his own camera. The thermal image, a technology designed for safety, had captured the birth of a lie in real time. There was one final piece of the digital puzzle. The defense team analyzed the logs from the haptic sensors in the steering wheel and pedals. These sensors measure grip force and sudden movements. If Dr. Santos had been engaged in a desperate, violent fight, as the officer claimed, her hands would have been gripping the wheel tightly, her body reacting to the struggle. The data showed the exact opposite. Throughout the entire incident, her hands were resting calmly on the wheel. The force sensors registered zero reactive grip. She was not fighting. She was sitting still, just as she had stated. In the courtroom, this technological evidence was devastating. The prosecution's case, built entirely on Officer Reardon's word and his staged body cam footage, crumbled. The car's data logs provided a neutral, scientific, and unshakable alibi. The flat line on the acoustic and pressure sensors proved there was no struggle. The thermal imaging proved the injury was fake. The haptic sensors proved Dr. Santos was calm, not violent. Together, they didn't just suggest the officer was lying. They proved it beyond any doubt. The outcome was a stunning victory for justice. All charges against Dr. Lena Santos were dismissed. But the story doesn't end there. Faced with irrefutable evidence of his deceit, Officer Mark Reardon was fired. He was later indicted for perjury and official misconduct. The very technology he tried to use against an innocent woman became the instrument of his downfall. Dr. Santos received a major civil settlement for the ordeal she endured. In the aftermath, she became a powerful advocate for what she calls vehicle data protection. She argues that in an age of ever smarter technology, our cars have the potential to be our staunchest defenders. The data they collect shouldn't just be for the manufacturer's benefit. It should be accessible to protect the owner from false accusations and injustice. Dr. Santos's story is a powerful reminder that sometimes the most powerful witness is the one you least expect, silently recording the truth from the dashboard. What do you think about this case? Could the data in our cars be the future of legal defense? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to like and subscribe for more.